Alrighty, this is the entity that is gang stalking by virtue of recognizing the specific environment. The entity that has the fake sun over the same apartment building, which it's substantially similar to where I documented it at 12 over the center of the apartment. And this is, again, first of all, what is the same positioning in the morning when the demons are gang stalking at 9:46 a.m. and the vehicle that's parked under the carport behind this white BMW, where you're looking at evidence of stalking with light, which is demonic, which is telling on the entire neighborhood, the entire city, that is gang stalking, where at 9:46 a.m. the vehicle that's would be behind this white BMW, the video evidence at 9:46 a.m. where the sun would be in a substantially similar, that is the same exact location, to be reflecting off of the driver's side window of a vehicle parked in the same parking lot at the same address at 9:46 a.m. Of course, as I open the door at 12:13 p.m., the demon possessed are gang stalking while the fake sun is remaining over the same apartment complex. And as it is currently 2:47 p.m., you're looking at what is evidence, as I'm referencing what it is that you've already seen, a fake sun speaking to a population that also lives in an apartment complex, gang stalking together. This is where you're looking at what is the evidence tying together what is gang stalking that's committed as a corrupt government, doing so in an environment where you're looking at what is very demonic. Okay? This is speaking to the environment where a bunch of demons, as you can see me moving around and having multiple shadows. This is not sunlight. None of this is sunlight. And it's also speaking to what is not the sun, to be in a position to be reflecting off of the windshield. And under no circumstances is this the product of the sun, but it's maintaining what is idle presence, as the evidence of a sun remaining idle is the evidence of gang stalking. The evidence of what is engineered light that defies nature, not sunlight, is evidence of gang stalking. And they're also doing so while a bunch of psychopaths are monitoring me, and while they're walking by the apartment, engineered light is occurring inside of the apartment where their shadows are moving on the inside. This is, again, light manifesting in the shade, as I am documenting that POC and the podcast documentation, which this video follows that. And this is engineer light piercing through. And then remember the body of evidence speaking to the entity has a fake sun reflecting off of a windshield at the apartment complex in Ontario, California, at Woodside, where the fake sun is still here after 6 p.m. as I am at the same apartment, 6:18 p.m. and I'm looking at the same light source. Remember that. But also the body of evidence speaking to what is this fake sun that's maintaining this sort of position in Los Angeles, which is speaking to what LAPD were doing, what Karen Bass is, and what she was doing, and what she knows that the entire population of Los Angeles County is doing, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, this is the prosecution of the state of California as you are capturing that specific environment that defies nature. And by the way, the engineered light has nothing to do with the fake sun outside. All the entity is doing is changing the hue of equally impossible light activity, regardless of what side of the door the fake sun is on, regardless of whether it is dark outside or sunny outside. This is the P.O.C. This is where it was at 12:13 p.m. right here, where Ontario PD fly right over. And this is where it is right now, which would be the case in order for it to be reflecting off of a windshield. A very unintelligent pattern of conduct. Those who are spiritually inferior, demons, and Satan himself, are engaging in what is a very highly obvious criminal pattern of conduct. It's speaking to their mental illness. It's speaking to their condition, demon possession. In case you're ignorant about what demons look like, or where demons are, or what they behave like, federal group stalking and monitoring is speaking to that. And this is an impossible occurrence where the sun would be over the same building, by the way. 9:46 a.m. it's right here, and it's reflecting off of the vehicle that's under that carport. I'll go ahead and reference that video to remind you about that. 9:46 a.m. to what is 2:50 p.m. And this is also the same position where this same fake sun is at 8 o'clock in the morning when I walk to this same location and the fake sun remains over me. The entity is engaging in this POC with regard to the evidence of surveillance by a community, by a state, and it's demonic. Where demons know exactly who you are, and they're monitoring what it is that you're doing inside of a private space, which is a sex offense that a government is going to be prosecuted for. Everybody at this apartment complex is stalking. Everybody at this apartment complex, they're full of demons, and they're monitoring my genitalia in a bathroom as well. And this is not over Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles either. All right, this is the body of evidence speaking to that POC. This is also where the fake sun remains after 6 p.m. right here. The fake sun that's reflecting off of a vehicle parked in the parking lot at 9:46 a.m. and it's reflecting off of a vehicle that's parked in the same parking lot just steps away from it is evidence of a fake sun. The fake sun is evidence of what is criminal surveillance of a satanic nature. It's speaking to what is surveillance. As you can see my shadow at a distance. Let me show you where everybody's going to mental asylums and prison. There, as you can see my shadow up here. This is the nature of the light activity inside of Tracy Banks' apartment. They're gang stalking. Unit 52 is going to prison, as clearly as you see that impossible light activity, which has nothing to do with the fake sun. These are all demons, and the engineer light is speaking to surveillance on communication devices. They know exactly what it is that I'm saying. They know what I'm doing, and that's criminal surveillance that's putting them in federal prison under Title 18. By the way, they're going to prison because they're gang stalking by residents. They're going to federal prison because they're still gang stalking when they're aware of the fact that they're being documented, as no gang stalking entity is going to continuously engage in domestic terrorism. It is currently 2:51 p.m. and this is what I was referring to in the podcast. If you'll listen to what I just discussed right now in the podcast, and I stated that I would get the image of the fake sun, because while I was discussing a material on my podcast providing insight regarding actual diagnosis for mental illness by the gang stalking demons, as opposed to the targeted individual who was a very real person having a very real status, with regard to the purpose of criminally defaming that person, the engineer light, the evidence of the fake sun, the gang stalking, while you're simultaneously being prosecuted, which is what I represent, prosecuting the U.S. government, that is speaking to the mental illness of the gang stalkers. It has no reflection whatsoever regarding the evidence that I'm gathering showing that criminal surveillance of a satanic nature is what I remain subject to while the entity sought to criminally defame my character behind my back. That's the pattern of conduct. It is currently 2:52 p.m. Everybody in units 33 through 64, as clearly as you see this fake sun, they're going to prison and mental asylums. All right, and the entity is gang stalking the Ontario police. Like you saw earlier today, like I stated, they're exhibiting demon possession, which is also a basis of disqualification from being in law enforcement. Besides the fact that they are clearly welcoming what is the shameful attention of being demons and stalking together, as while at the same time bearing badges. They welcome that. That's how mentally ill they are, aside from their engagement in the pattern of conduct. Stalking with light, stalking with presence in the path, stalking with audible activity, that's psychopathic. When they're monitoring as a police department, they're going to be disbanded, and they are exhibiting what is a disqualification in and of itself by engaging in the P.O.C. And that's exactly what they were doing under this fake sun that's still over the same location at 12:13 p.m. It is currently 2:53 p.m. This is P.O.C.